My name is Chris Risdon. I'm an experienced designer at Adaptive Path. I'm out of our Austin, Texas studio. And applying behavior design, the topic that I was talking about today at WebVisions, is about understanding kind of the psychological principles around affecting behavior change in both behaviors and attitudes in people through our day-to-day design practice. A lot of people have been talking about the psychological theory around persuasive technology, behavior design, and influence. And what I've tried to do from a point of view as a practitioner, design practitioner, is understand how does that start to actually live in our day-to-day activities. We already have these sort of interaction design, web design, user experience design methodologies and techniques. And I've tried to take a point of view of where do those live when we're actually applying those techniques. Where do we apply behavior design or persuasive technology principles? What we're seeing is a lot of more products and services are around personal behaviors. That can be finance, healthcare, energy conservation. It can even be now that you have ability to track behaviors about whether you're walking your dog 3 times a day, putting a sensor on a leash, or putting a sensor on your toothbrush to keep track of that. And so a lot of the examples are pretty familiar. We have things like Nike Plus and Runkeeper that help you track your running habits and your health activities and give you kind of this feedback loop, data visualizations about how well you're doing, and those typically affect then how you decide to keep motivated to continue to do them. Mint.com and Ready for Zero are some newer products, new in the past 2-3 years, around our finances and helping us either curb our spending or help save for goals or find products with new interest rates and kind of our behaviors around that. Another example is the new thermostat Nest, and it's a thermostat designed by a former Apple product designer, and it's a kind of a high-tech thermostat that tracks your energy consumption, whether you're turning on the heat or turning on the air conditioning, and it's taking that data and giving you a feedback loop, so to speak, and so you can see how your energy habits are stacking up, and that's going to influence how you then can help hopefully conserve energy or use that information to improve your energy consumption habits. How have I applied behavioral design? Well, obviously I apply it sometimes in projects that I do. As far as myself personally, I've been motivated for using the Nest product. I actually use it. That's why I firsthand was able to play with that, and I was really interested in that because a lot of behavior design is around meeting people at their point of motivation. So motivation is not necessarily a binary thing. You're motivated, you're unmotivated. You have different levels of intrinsic motivation. So I never really thought a lot about energy consumption. So I used that product because I had some motivation. If I was more highly motivated, I wouldn't need a product like Nest because I would go and do more effort to do that. But instead, I have some motivation. So if something can make it easy for me, I'm much more interested in using it because it's going to meet me sort of where my motivation level. If it takes sort of the heavy lifting out of doing something good like that, then I think it helps. And so that was one area where I used that product to sort of change my behaviors and reflect on my behaviors around a certain area. When I started out 3 or 4 years ago, it was a lot of talk about increasing motivation as well as increasing ability. And ability is often how easy or hard it is to do something, to engage in a particular behavior. And one thing that I think is the most salient point is that you can't really change the motivation as easily, if at all. It's about aligning it to their ability and finding them and meeting them at their motivational points. It's something that Stanford psychologist B.J. Fogg talks about a lot, which is that you aren't necessarily going to change behavior by increasing motivation. You're going to facilitate behavior by meeting them at the point of motivation where the ability to actually engage in that behavior is going to do that. And so I think a lot of people think about behavior design and think about how can we make people more motivated. And you can do things with extrinsic motivation, and extrinsic is kind of going to be the carrot on the stick, like rewards and things like that. But ultimately, you can't change people's intrinsic motivation, or at least it's not an easy short-term thing. So that's going to be the most thing, is if people think about ability and motivation being these kind of cornerstones to getting people to think about their behaviors. As designers, you really need to focus on meeting them at their point of motivation, not trying to change their motivation.